There once was a man who lived with his 3 daughters in a humble town far, far away. The man went out every weekend with his golf clubs and played a few rounds of golf on his leisure time. Although he was not the best golfer around, he enjoyed it nonetheless. One day, when the man was playing on his favorite golf course near a small pond, he hit his golf ball right into the water. The golf ball, which he had hit into the pond, was not just any golf ball. This was his lucky golf ball that was passed down from generation to generation. On his journey to find his missing golf ball, he looked everywhere. He searched high, he searched low, he searched north, south, east, and west, but his lucky golf ball was nowhere to be found. What he was unaware of was that his lucky golf ball landed right next to an enchanted frog. The last place he had left to search was on the other side of the pond, down a small hill. As he was walking down the hill, he finally spotted his lucky golf ball. Reaching down for the ball, he was startled by a talking frog. The enchanted frog was frightened. He thought the man would try to capture him, so he begged,
"Listen, mister, I beg you to let me live. I'm not an ordinary frog, but an enchanted prince. How will it help you to kill me? I will not taste good to you. Put me back into the water and I will return your golf ball. Please, I beg of you."
The man paused for a moment, confused by the worried frog, and then he responded,
"Why? Would I want to hurt a talking frog? All I really wanted was my lucky golf ball. It was passed down in my family from generation to generation. Silly frog."
Relieved that the man did not capture him, the frog happily returned the golf ball, and the man headed home to his 3 daughters. He greeted Summer, the oldest of the daughters, April, his middle child, and Autumn, the youngest. He sat down with his daughters and told them all about his adventure to find his missing golf ball. Autumn, the youngest, was very excited to hear about the talking frog. She even asked her father if she could keep him for a pet. Interrupting her, April, the middle child, questioned why her father would not try to make a wish once he found out the frog was enchanted. Because she had just turned 16 earlier that month, Summer talked over both of her sisters and suggested a wish for her father to make. She thought it would be a great idea for her father to return to the pond and ask the frog for a car. She promised that she would take her younger siblings wherever they needed to go, and each of the girls agreed. The first wish should be for a new car for all of them to share. The next day, the father returned to the pond in hopes to find the enchanted frog. Looking for the frog, he recited,
"Froggy, froggy of the pond, if you can talk, please respond. Although I don't care for my daughter's requests, I come to ask you nonetheless."
"Well, what do they want then?"
replied the enchanted frog as he arose from the pond. The father explained his daughter's need for a new car, and just like that, his wish was granted. When the man returned home, the girls were eagerly waiting to see if the frog was able to grant their wish. Sure enough, the father presented Summer with a set of car keys. Without waiting for her younger sisters, Summer ran to see her brand new car. After spending the entire day at the mall, Summer drove home, not caring about the promise she had broken to her sisters. Comforting his younger daughters, the father suggested that he go back to the enchanted frog and ask for another favor. Autumn explained that she should get the second wish because she is the youngest child. Her wish was for the latest, most high-tech cell phone so that she could play all of her favorite games, listen to all of her favorite music, and watch all of her favorite movies without her sisters bugging her. The frog was able to grant the father a second wish, and he was excited to give Autumn her new device. Regardless of how the older siblings felt, Autumn jumped for joy. April, the middle child, was the only one left without a wish of her own. April sits back and watches as her sisters enjoy their new gifts. She calls out to her father and complains that she feels left out. Her father explains that he has already gone to the frog and asked for 2 wishes. He told her she needs to share the cell phone with Autumn, the car with Summer, and he will return to the pond at the end of the week. When the weekend comes, he will ask the frog for a wish that the whole family can agree upon. So, in the middle of the night, April gets a great idea. She will go to the pond herself when the sun comes up and make the frog disappear, making it impossible for her sisters to hug any more wishes. That morning, April sneaks away to the pond to find the enchanted frog sitting by the bottom of a small hill. Quickly, she picks him up and moves him to the small cottage of an elderly woman who lives all by herself. As she sits down to talk with the frog, she tells him how thankful her sisters are for the wishes that he has granted them. April asks the frog to use her last wish on the woman that lived in the cottage. She felt that the elderly woman would get more out of one wish than her sisters would on wishes for endless luxuries. As the elderly lady left her house that morning, she was greeted by the enchanted frog.
Excuse me, miss. I was brought here to grant you a unique wish. It doesn't matter what wish you choose, whatever you ask, I'll make it come true.
In the end, all 3 of the daughters' wishes were granted. And as for their father, well, he was happy to have found his lucky golf ball.